right, Christoph, welcome to the
Hi, good
BlockHash
evening.
podcast.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you, man. What's up? Where you from?
Yeah, I'm sitting in Munich, in Bavaria, where we have the last nice days with fine weather. As always in Munich, in September, it's always nice weather. The Oktoberfest would be coming if COVID would not be there, then we would have a nice celebration. But last year and this year, unfortunately, Oktoberfest has been sacrificed for COVID, but maybe next year.
No Oktoberfest? I've always wanted to go to that.
You don't know Oktoberfest?
I've never been. What's that like?
Oktoberfest is a huge public celebration with lots of beer tents and carousels and roller coasters, and it's one of the hugest public celebrations on the world. And yeah, normally it's one of the big magnets for Munich here in autumn. But last year it has been cancelled, and this year also. Normally we have up to 5 million guests here in Munich during the Oktoberfest, but well, it's like it is.
Yeah, that kind of sucks that they've canceled it, because of COVID stuff, but I've always wanted to go. I've always seen like the photos and videos, everyone's dressing up and in those
Yeah,
outfits, and they
absolutely.
have the giant beers and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a pity, but and it's also an economic loss for all these people who earn money on this occasion. But yeah, I don't know. Next year we have different times, hopefully, and then we will see.
yeah, hopefully things get back to normal pretty soon. Crazy
Yeah,
world we live in, huh?
absolutely.
Anyways, Christoph, tell me a bit more about yourself. I want to know a bit about your backgrounds, how you got into this space, kind of
Yeah.
what your journey was.
Yeah, actually, I'm a mathematician for my education and training, and after that, I entered into the banking space. I've been in the banking industry for 25 years, 10 years in a bank, and after that, I've spent 15 years in the banking software industry, mostly in Germany in the cooperative sector, which is something like also a decentralized organization. Yeah, so in Germany, it's a very special model. We have 1,000 banks which are independent but connected in a huge network, and they are sharing some services and they have some commonly owned companies, which are one of the largest banks, for example, in Germany, is owned by these cooperative banks, and they have 20 million members, which is also a huge number. So it's owned by the people, and that's also the link to the crypto space, because at some point I decided to do something more technical and more innovative. And this was 5 years ago. And at that time, I stumbled upon Ethereum, and Ethereum immediately drew my attraction because different from Bitcoin, which is rather difficult, not to say poisoned community, Ethereum was very friendly. Yeah? And if you look at their channels and Reddit and so on, Ethereum is very developer friendly, and that attracted me. And so the only thing to what I was thinking about was, what is a nice project which I could launch. And so I'm from banking, but my thinking was everybody's doing banking on blockchain already, so that is already owned by other people. So what is a space where nobody is in? And at that time, it was insurance. And insurance is also close to banking, lots of regulations, difficult stuff, and complex matter, difficult mathematics. And so that was something where I thought maybe that's something which I can do, and where I have something like a green field. Yeah, and actually that was also the motivation to do this. And so I came from this traditional banking space, and my idea was to get rid of all this traditional stuff and do something completely new, and something which is not done by anybody before. And so I immediately was thinking, let's do a complete insurance company on chain. Not only a part of it, there are many difficult things what you can do on blockchain if you pick one piece out of the huge space of insurance. But my idea was to put the whole insurance on chain in a single smart contract. And that was my first idea, and so I was astonished how easy it was. And of course, I'm not a professional programmer. I have been working in the software industry, but I'm not a developer. I'm coming from the business side. So I had some basic skills in programming, and so I learned Solidity in a few months, and so actually this insurance was one of the first exercises, so to say. And then I was astonished how easy it was to build a small smart contract which covers the whole process of an insurance. And of course, I thought that's maybe something which I could explore more. And so we decided to build a first product around it. And at that time, it was the early days when maybe you've heard about it, the DAO. It was one of the largest projects which got hacked, and $160 million were at stake. And some people from Germany had this idea, and luckily they managed to somehow fix it and fix it by forking Ethereum in Ethereum as we know it and Ethereum Classic. And this DAO was actually something like a venture capital, something or a replacement for venture capital. And actually, I was one of the first to create a proposal for this DAO to get some funding. And so DAO went something failed, so I need to look for something else. And at that time, I also met some people in DevCon in Shanghai at that time from the crypto space, which all still accompany our development. And these people encouraged me to follow this path, but also to look for some funding. And it was 2017, so everybody was talking about ICOs. And so we decided also to explore if a token could be something which could be used in the context of an insurance. And so in 2017, we developed the first ideas, and in 2018, we created the DIP token, which is still the core of our economy and the economic model. And yeah, that was how it started.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so explain how blockchain and insurance come together.
Okay. Yeah, one of the big problems in insurance is that people don't trust the insurance companies. If you know you have a car insurance and then you file a claim and then you hope that you get your claim paid out. And if you are lucky, then you get your money. But if not, then you're actually screwed, because you have no chance to sue an insurance company. It's simply too big, and they don't tell you why they don't give you the money or compensate your claim, but probably they will have some legal stuff, and somehow they deny your claim. And it's intransparent, and somehow people feel it's unfair because everybody knows these insurance companies, they earn a lot of money, and people pay a lot of premium for all types of insurance, and then they still get not covered. And we wanted to change this. So first of all, more transparency. People should know why and if their claim is paid, and also have a chance to understand it actually. Also before they sign the contract, and also the time between a claim or a loss occurs and the claim is paid. We wanted to shorten this time radically to real-time payments. So if there is a loss, then you should receive your payout immediately, because that's the time when you need the money. I don't need the money 2 years later. I need it when the loss occurs. And so we were also very much into a very new field at that time, so-called parametric insurance. Parametric insurance is a type of insurance where the claim is, the decision on a claim is made by a database, by actual objective data. For example, weather data, flight data, just to name two of our more prominent examples, wind speed for a hurricane, or also you could build a life insurance, because if somebody dies, then you have a death certificate, and probably there is a public record, and so you could actually even decide on a life insurance based on a public database. So there's a lot of possible applications for parametric insurance, and of course parametric insurance is very fair because everybody knows the data. Data is public ideally, and everybody can check if his claim is justified or not, and because it's data you can also create real-time payments, and that is a big difference to the current traditional insurance. And traditional insurance always work with agents, human agents, which make claims processing, and that takes a lot of time, is inefficient, costs a lot of money. And if you do it on blockchain, then nobody can actually interfere with this process. If it's in a smart contract, then either the smart contract is completely autonomous and nobody can ever interfere with this process, or if there is still some possibility of interference, and still people have a complete audit trail. They can at least understand what's happening, and that makes a big difference. So that's the reason why we think insurance should be on blockchain completely.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think blockchain really helps solve a lot of issues that are in traditional insurance and things like that. Through Etherisc, is that how you said it? Etherisc?
The name?
Yeah.
Well, the name is, of course, Ethereum and Risk, so something like a fusion of handling risks on Ethereum. So from the beginning, of course, we were focused on Ethereum because of the great community, developer network, and so on. So that was where the name came from. Got it.
So let's say I need insurance for something, and I want to use this. How would I go about executing a smart contract through this to get insurance for something? And then what can I get insurance for? Can I get insurance for anything or only specific things?
Well, currently we have a few products which are in development or are live. We have currently a weather insurance, which is actually a crop insurance for smallholder farmers in Kenya. This is a live product which we are actually currently developing and which is used in the field. Mm-hmm. Just today we deployed 18,000 policies on chain. So this is also a product with broad user base and a lot of traffic on top of it. The other thing is so-called flight delay insurance, what we have developed 2 years ago and which we are currently revamping. We had it live for quite some time, but in the past we always needed an insurance company. Yeah? You know, insurance is highly regulated, and you cannot just sell policies. It's forbidden, and in most jurisdictions you are you go into jail if you sell insurance policies without a proper license. So that was a big obstacle for us. But we solved this obstacle also for flight delay. And we have now in Germany a special legal model where we can sell. It's not legally an insurance, we call it a protection, but from the system and from the mathematics and from the whole process, it's exactly like an insurance. It's only legally not an insurance because we replace legal guarantees by technical guarantee. Yeah, you cannot sue us, but you have the smart contract, and you can decide yourself if you want to trust the smart contract or not. And so there is no need for any legal stuff behind it. And also the fine print is of course reduced, and the smart contracts are checked, of course, by audits, and they are open source, so everybody can check them, and that is the second product. Yeah, so crop insurance in Kenya, flight delay. We have another team working in Puerto Rico, working on a hurricane insurance, which is quite similar. It's also based on data, on wind speed data, and These guys have a traditional branch where they sell traditional insurance policies, but they want to also sell the blockchain variant, and because they believe that blockchain would reduce much of the friction in the process. And so that is a third product which is worked upon. And in Africa, we have already the next follow-up projects to this crop insurance. So there are a lot of stuff is going on. We have one project in Saxonia in Germany, where we have just started last week. And so a lot of different products are in the pipeline. And the next product which will go live is the flight delay.
Got it. Could you use this to get like insurance for, let's say, like a crypto wallet or some place that you hold crypto or any sort of value?
Yeah, that's also something where we have seen a lot of demand. However, crypto wallet insurance is difficult to make parametric, because if you would have an oracle which would decide if a claim is justified or not, then you could immediately use this oracle to create a false claim. There is a nice article by Vitalik on this topic. So actually, theoretically, it's impossible to build a parametric insurance for crypto wallets. So you always need a human factor in it. And that's something against our philosophy. However, we have, of course, talked, for example, with Gnosis. Gnosis is a large project in Berlin. They have a prediction market, but they are the coders of one of the most prominent crypto wallets, the Gnosis Safe. And together with Gnosis, we have many talks about how we could finally build a crypto insurance which would work and which would be efficient and have also these nice properties of being fair, transparent, and so on. But it's really difficult, yeah. And we have not given up, but the other projects, flight delay, crop insurance, they are still currently a bit higher on the priority. But I think with due time and a bit, if some people from Gnosis and we work together, then I'm pretty confident that we will finally manage to have a crypto wallet insurance. Maybe with some human factor or some DAO who makes decisions. I don't know. Yeah, there are many options, and I think that's certainly something which we will follow up on.
Yeah, if the issue is a decision-making process, I imagine you could just implement like a DAO and have something like that in place. Exactly. So that that could be done.
Yeah, that's something what Nexus Mutual does and other projects. If you, for example, in CoinGecko, you have this category insurance, and there you can see all these insurance projects which are currently developed, and I think it's about 10 or 15 projects. And 14 of them are crypto-centric, so they insure crypto smart contracts. So the only risk which they take is the risk of a smart contract to be hacked or broken or whatever. And these are all actually more or less derivatives of Nexus Mutual, and Nexus Mutual makes the decisions by a DAO. Yeah, so there is a committee of experts, and they make the decisions. So human factor. That's working nicely, but it's still the human factor, and it's not very clear how you can guarantee that it's fair. Yeah, because how these people make their decisions may not be fully transparent. So the only one who is dealing with real-world risks is Etherisc. And actually, I'm really wondering that we are still the only project which is dealing with real-world risk. So not only crypto risk, but something like weather, flight delay, hurricane, and the like. And I'm quite interested when the first project will also join the space, because it's huge and there are a lot of applications, and a lot to do here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a huge concept, including insurance into this, and then combining it with blockchain. What are you guys looking to do, like roadmap wise, finishing out the rest of the year, going the next year? What do you want to add more products? Do you want to evolve this process some more, or what's the plan?
Yeah, the most important step on our roadmap is to implement staking. So staking would give our DIP token a utility, And it's very clear how we do it from the theory. Yeah? So imagine you have an insurance, for example, flight delay, and you have 1,000 flights which should be insured, and each of these flights has a maximum payout of $1,000. Then you have $1 million at risk, actually. Yeah? So you need a capital pool of $1 million to pay out in the worst case that all these flights would be paid out. For example, in Iceland, a volcano and all planes are on the ground, or something, terrorist attack and all planes down. So there are real situations where you could imagine that all planes are delayed. So actually you need to think about how you can provide this capital pool of $1 million. And the answer is quite easy. So the one part is from the premium. So everybody pays, for example, $15, but that's only $15,000. It's not $1 million. You need to cover for the rest. And the rest would be provided by investors who would put in capital. They put the capital at risk. And as a reward, they receive the premiums. Yeah, so they, in the good case, that only maybe 5% of the planes are delayed, and most of the premiums would end up in the pockets of the investors. And so it's an attractive model. And there are also some options how we could reduce the risk for the investors, that they don't lose all their money if the planes are on the ground. But still, that's one thing. But for this model to work, we need to incentivize these investors that they put their money in, and this is done via staking. Because with staking, we can, on the one side, we can guarantee that only people who are really invested in the platform, so owners of DIP tokens, can earn money, yeah, because the platform development has been paid by the DIP token holders. So actually, we should also restrict the value creating process to these people who have paid for it. Yeah? These are the DIP token holders. So people who want to earn money on the platform need to hold some DIP tokens. They stake the DIP tokens, and on the other side, they can earn money on the platform. And also, there is our so-called Decentralized Insurance Foundation, which holds a large treasury of DIP tokens. And the Decentralized Insurance Foundation will also support or incentivize this process by something like liquidity mining. Yeah? So we will incentivize staking of DIP tokens and capital in the risk pools by giving people an additional share of DIP tokens, and to make it attractive for both investors and also people who provide other type of services like oracles or product builders and so on. That is the idea. Give the DIP token a utility by staking, and we are currently building the smart contracts for staking, which is a bit more challenging, like, for example, pools for Uniswap or something. Yeah. There it's the same thing. You can stake Uniswap tokens and then you can invest. But in insurance, it's a bit more challenging because you need to link your capital to the actual risks. And that is a bit more complicated from the bookkeeping. Yeah? And so we think that will happen early next year. And also, of course, we want to link this to concrete products like flight delay, crop insurance, and all the other products which we have in the pipeline. That's the big thing. And on the other side, we have also, of course, some other interesting stuff on our roadmap. We are building an ecosystem for developers. We have just a few weeks ago, we have acquired a large open source platform for developing applications, a rapid prototyping platform, and that is also something which we want to bring to our community. That is also planned for the next few months, that we give our community a full experience of developer experience, investor experience, and also customer experience. So that's the idea.
You guys got a lot going on, huh? You guys are going to stay pretty busy.
Absolutely. Yeah, the idea is we are not a company which just builds one or two products. Of course, we have some products, but in the long run, we want to encourage independent teams to build their own products. For example, the Hurricane team in Puerto Rico. This is an independent team. They are not paid by us, but they are working on their own product and still using our platform. The platform is open source. Anybody can use it. It's free of fees, and only if you want to earn money with the platform, then you need to stake DIP tokens. But you don't need to pay for it. If you stop earning money, then you get your DIP tokens back. Yeah, it's the DIP tokens are not burned or something. So that's the idea: create an open platform for developers, product builders, Oracle owners, data owners, and altogether should have a perfect experience on building on the platform.
Awesome. Before we wrap up here, where should people go if they want to know more about Etherisc and blockchain and insurance and might want to use it? Where should they go? Where should they, like, is there website, is there Discord, is there Telegram?
Yeah.
Where would you direct people?
Of course. Yeah. Well, the first point of contact for most people is a Telegram channel. It's on our website. Website is etherisc.com as usual, and there are all the links to our social media channels. We are present on Twitter. We are present on YouTube. We have a blog. We have the Telegram channel. And for each of these channels, we have a specific idea. Yeah? For example, the blog is for longer pieces of, for example, tutorials or announcement, press release. That's a blog. Then the Telegram channel is for the daily chit chat, and then we have Twitter for announcement and also daily announcements or reminders of some interesting stuff. And we also look at the whole of the industry and give interesting links to what's happening around us. And of course, then we have a forum. The forum is more for the theoretical discussion. So there are many people who have very interesting insights. And the forum is the place where you can discuss with other members of the community on certain topics and collect all the ideas in certain threads where things are collected and easy to find. So yeah, for people who join us, probably the easiest way is just to join the Telegram channel and watch what's happening, go on Twitter, and for people who would like a more deep insight, read our blog articles and go into the forum and start discussing with other community members.
Perfect. We'll add a lot of that stuff into the description for the episode so people can find it and click on the links and go in and check out.
Exactly.
Chat
on our homepage, on the website, there are all these social links to all these channels. And also we are currently building up a YouTube channel with tutorials and also other interesting stuff. We have travel reports from our travel to Kenya, and next week the whole team is in Kenya and pushing forward the crop insurance project, and we will certainly publish some videos from the visit in the field and discussions there, and it's also interesting to see what's happening there.
Perfect. Christoph, thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast today and really explain, how insurance and blockchain kind of come together. It's an interesting concept, and it's definitely an important one. So thank you really for explaining it and going into detail and on Etherisc as well.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. And
of course, anytime.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.